All right, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. And I'm excited to talk with you today about shifting your problems into solutions. And if you're a CEO, high achiever, entrepreneur, or even a business owner that's listening to this podcast for the first time, what you're going to find is I put the Daily Mastermind together in order to provide daily inspiration, motivation, and education. As Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich, there's a real power in the mastermind. And so many times as entrepreneurs, we're isolated, not only just physically and with the type of virtual world we live in, but also sometimes just in our thoughts, because there's not a lot of people that can relate to what you're going through when it comes to building and growing a business. And there are so many problems you deal with on a day-to-day basis. So today, I want to talk to you about shifting some of those problems into solutions. But the first thing I want to do is get you the Daily Mastermind quote of the day. And the quote of the day is, the more you love what you're doing, the more successful it will be for you. The more you love what you're doing, the more successful it will be for you. And I think this speaks right to this concept that we talk about a lot, which is, how do you tap into your unique talent and focus on that most of the time? Those are the things that you're excellent at and you're passionate about. So finding your unique talent and following that is a real key. But the more you align with your talents, the more you're going to focus on solutions. And so I want to talk to you today about prosperity pillar number 5, which is I focus on solutions. And I want to give you some ideas and ways that you can maybe reframe the problems that you're working with right now, because there's so many different things that are challenging us on a day-to-day business when it comes to being an owner, an entrepreneur, CEO, someone who's running a business. And the first thing I want to suggest to you is that your perception of your problems is really most of the way that you can shift your ability to create more solutions for your business and for yourself. It's not the problem itself. It's the meaning that you are attaching to the problem. And that's really the key. So when you step back for a minute and you really realize that problems are just situations that come up. Why do some people deal with problems better than other people? Why do you deal with problems better once you've been through them the first time? Well, it's because your perception of the problem is really setting a framework for how you're going to move forward. And it's dictating how your mind is going to focus. And no matter what you talk about, when you focus on solutions, there's going to be a far better advantage of you working through and moving to the next level than when you're working on and focusing on the problem. And so your perception of the problem is something I really want you to identify. So, for example, I've had many, many times in my business where, I've looked at a problem, and in hindsight, I've gone back and I've realized that that problem was really an opportunity for us to grow and expand our products, our business, our people. And so it's important for you to realize that the perception of your problem will drive solutions. The second thing is, your view of success and failure will affect your ability to deal with problems, because you have to realize that failure, and I know most of you have heard this before, but when you really truly internalize that failure takes you closer to success, that only through failure do you grow and develop, that's when you begin to perceive failure as a stepping stone for success. And that's when, you'll realize that you can't be stopped, because even through failure, you're growing and moving forward and creating more and more solutions. So there's a lot of individuals I work with on a day-to-day basis that really fear failure. As a result, that holds them back. They're not willing to do the things it takes to go to the next level. And so when it comes to dealing with problems, it's difficult for you to do that because you fear what people will think, what will happen, whether or not you're going to fail again. And so when you begin to view failure as a positive, it shifts how you can find more solutions in your business. The third thing I want to talk to you about is realizing that problems are a good thing. Because it's one thing to view failure differently or take your perception of the problem, but when you realize that problems can be a good thing, then unsuccessful people want to get rid of their problems, and successful people want to be bigger than their problems. They know that they can grow, and only through problems do they grow to a point that they could build a bigger business, that they can expand the prosperity that they're trying to go after. So problems are a good thing. The fourth thing I want you to do in order to kind of shift your perspective of problems is change how you look at things. It's not just about your perception of problems, but it's like the It's like the quote that Wayne Dyer talks about. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Because you can choose and change your environment just through your thoughts and philosophy. And I think you're going to find more and more and more that when you change how you look at things, not just your perception, but when you change how you look at things in a scenario, your things that you're looking at will change. These problems will not, they will take on a different shape, so you'll be able to deal with them better. And so it's really important that you change how you look at things, not just seeing that problems are a good thing and not just learning from your failures or perceiving things in a different nature, but changing how you move forward with those challenges. The next thing I want to talk to you about is learning to start from solution. Now, what do I mean by starting from solution? Well, some of the problems that I see a lot of business owners have, or CEOs, or even just individual solopreneurs, is they have a problem that comes up in their life, whether it's a lack of revenue or leads or a challenge or an obstacle that comes up, and they're trying to figure out why this thing happened and what they can do to fix it. And by focusing on the problems, they're literally keeping themselves from putting their energy into creating solutions. You have to realize that you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts, but your energy and your focus is going to determine your outcomes. So when you focus on problems, you're not giving yourself the ability to open up to all the potential of the opportunities and solutions that are out there. And so focusing on starting where you can create solutions is a way that you can truly take your problem and eliminate it as quickly as possible. Find different things. Think out of the box. Think of new, innovative ways. And this goes back to this next idea I had, which is training your mind. See, we deal with problems based on our experience and our knowledge and even the stories we tell ourselves at times. But science has proven through neuroplasticity that the pathways in your brain are not only hardwired by repetition, but they can be changed. So even when you're older, even when you feel like you have all this experience and you're like, man, I've tried all these different things, it's important for you to realize that you can create new pathways. You can create new solutions, and things change. So you need to train your mind to be a tool to help you to find solutions, not inhibit you from all the hard wiring that you've received over the years. And I have this happen a lot where individuals I'll talk to will say, I've tried that, I've tried that, I've tried that. Well, even if you're doing something that 2 weeks ago didn't work for you, things change, markets change. So you have to open your mind to possibilities, and you have to stop limiting yourself based on what you believe to be the case. And training your mind is a key to that. Train your mind to always be open, always think out of the box. And then finally, I want you to start focusing on your goals, because one of the challenges we have sometimes is motivation and fuel to take us past our problems. And the number one way to start creating positive change is to focus on your goals and your vision of the future and let that pull you in the direction of solution rather than being caught up in the problem. And you know what I mean. When you have a problem, it's very easy to go down that rabbit hole of all the reasons it happened and why it's holding you back and what it might potentially do to you and for you. And so when you can shift your focus over to your goals and your vision, that's when you can truly go to the next level, because it can help pull you back into the path that you're trying to accomplish. Now, I want to caution you on one thing. The mind that's overcome with all of the obstacles and the problems is not the mind that's going to help you create solutions. So it's important to realize that you have to think out of the box. You have to get outside your comfort zone. You have to start focusing on solutions that maybe you don't even know you can do right now. And so there's processes for you to do that. Here's what I want you to do this week. Identify a problem, some kind of a challenge. Maybe you've been dealing with it for a while or it just came up. And put everything related to that problem aside and sit down and write out 10 to 20 solutions, completely random. See, the problem is we sometimes latch onto just one solution. Just brainstorm 10 to 20 solutions to that problem. And it might be overwhelming to find that many at first. And it might seem kind of crazy that there'd be that many solutions to your problem. But see what happens when you simply start the process of focusing on solutions. You're going to find that simple little things are going to come up that you may say, man, why didn't I think of that already? And it's because your mind and energy was going the wrong direction. And so that's what I want to suggest to you. I want you to really, truly reshape how you focus on problems and move your mind and train your mind to move the direction of solutions. I hope that's something that'll help you this week. I look forward to talking with you more later this week, and I want to share with you a bunch of interviews we did with other business owners and entrepreneurs that have gotten through their problems, struggled through, but also come up with some creative strategies on how you can deal with that. So I hope you'll join me later in the week. And remember, the whole purpose of the Daily Mastermind is to help you unleash your potential and create the life that you are meant to live. And I believe it's never too late to do that. Once again, my name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.